Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from section 27 and today we will be presenting about relativism.
My name is Muhammad bin ZULKIPLI, number matrix 251 7749, and I am from HAZRIQ IKHS.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad HAZRIQ bin Hasan, number matrix 2517 457, and I from HAZRIQ IKHS.
My name is Muhammad HAKIM bin Muhammad SHAHREN, number matrix 2512573, and I'm from Kuliah Economic.
My name is RAFIQI bin RIDHUAN. My number matrix is 2514225, and I am from Kuliah of Economics.
My name is AMIR FIRDAUS bin Muhammad NURODDIN. My matric number is 2518921, and I'm from Kuliah of Economics.
Alright, so about relativism. The rise of relativism has sparked debates in Western culture related to the morality. In United States, a study found that the people who believe in relativism is more likely to conduct petty crimes compared to those who believe in moral absolutism. This finding shows how relativism has shaped the worldview and this finding shows how relativism has shaped and influenced the morality and ethics in one cultures. Therefore, this study is conducted for three reasons. First of all, to gain insight and understanding about relativism. Second, to analyze and compare it with Islamic concept, Islamic worldview. And last but not least is to expand our understanding on the Islamic worldview and how it rejects relativism.
Assalamualaikum. Today I will presenting about the concept and historical development of relativism. First, what is relativism? Relativism is the belief that truth, morality, and value are not absolute. Instead, what is considered as right or true, it depends on their culture or society or maybe their personal perspective. Now, the terms relativism first appeared in 1852 in writing Sir William Hamilton. Sir William Hamilton is the Scottish philosopher, but this idea existed much earlier, during 5th century BC, which is at ancient Greece. This idea existed through philosopher Protagoras, who famously said, "The man is the measure of all things." This means humans determine truth for themselves. Okay, next I will presenting about the key factor that lead to the development of relativism. One of the main influence was the philosophy of Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant argued that human cannot fully know the true nature of reality through the sense. Instead, we only understand the world based on our own perception. For example, when we saw an apple, we saw it was green color. The taste is sweetness and it feel texture. That's all is just how our brain intercepts information through the sense. According to Immanuel Kant, we only know things as they appear to us, not things as they truly in themselves. This is what we call as noumena. Second, another important factor was the rise of cultural anthropology. Anthropology is someone who study about humans, like their language, culture. But in this case, they study about culture. Earlier scholars believed Western culture was superior, but later anthropology like Franz Boas, Ruth Benedict, Margaret Mead challenges this. They insisted that no one has right to judge another culture and that every culture must be understood on its own terms. That's all from me. Okay, so I will pass to the next presenter, Brother Hakim.
Okay. Let's continue to the principle of relativism. There are two principles of relativism. First is no absolute truth. This principle rejects the idea that there is one absolute truth that is suitable for all humans. In relativism, the truth is not something fixed, but it depends on culture, value, and way of people view an issue. For example, someone may say that the picture of Mona Lisa is beautiful, while another said the opposite. This show that the principle of this show that the relativism, there is no one absolute truth that all human or every person need to follow. And the second principle is subjectivity. This principle assert that the morality and truth depend on individual view and experience. Each person sees the world through their personal perspective. For example, one people say the eating meat are acceptable because it's part of their community or culture, while another they say is wrong due to animal right. Thus, both view are valid depend on their perspective. And let's continue to the characteristic of relativism. There are two also the characteristic of relativism. The first characteristic is the cultural is dependent. This characteristic illustrate that a person truth and morality are highly dependent on the culture in where they rise. The culture set the value. Culture determine what is polite, right or wrong in a society. In addition, uh, an action cannot be measured using the standard of culture because each culture has their own perspective and view. For example, we take a look at Japan. When two or more people are meet, they will bow their head. And at Malaysia, we see where people are meet, they will shake our hand and or put hand at the chest. Although different, both action, both sign has convey the same meaning, which is respect to others. And last but not least, the tolerance. In relativism promote tolerance of other people belief or way of life. It teaches us that every culture or individual have their own value system, and none can be considered as superior of none can be considered as superior or the what we call the absolutely correct. And I will pass the mic to the brother Amzar.
Okay, thank you, Brother Hakim. Now let's move on to the next part, which is impact of relativism worldwide. So for the first point, which is moral and ethical impact. Moral and ethical decisions are influenced by personal belief. How people interpret right and wrong change based on their situation. For example, a coworker reports his colleague's mistake if the mistakes made by the colleague affects the company's name. But if the effect only effect internally, they will just stay quiet. For the next point, which is social and cultural impact. In social and cultural settings, behavior are often shaped by social norms and traditions. People often adjust their actions to align with community expectations. So, for example, in Malaysia, during formal ceremony, young participants may follow traditions greeting norms, even though their daily life they always interact informally. This shows that how social norms guide behavior. So, for the third point, which is educational impact. So, what does this mean? Is students daily often face by where they know that there is no one answer. We call that as subjective. So for the fourth and last point, which is global and political impact, at global and political level, ethical decisions are influenced by culture, social and legal differences between countries. Policies are adapted to fit local practices and norms. For example, in an international aid program, organization may adjust food distribution method based on local religious dietary restriction, showing how cultural considerations shape global actions. That's all from me. Here you go, Brother Amir.
Okay, so for the next part, I will explain about the strength and weaknesses of relativism. First of all, relativism promotes tolerance and respects. Relativism teaches people to respect different beliefs and cultures. This will help to create a peaceful society. This aligns with the Islam in the Quran, Surah Surah Al-Baqarah ayat 2, there is no compulsion in religion. This shows that people should not be forced in religion. In addition, Islam also encourage calm, gentle, and sincere communication with others. Second of all, relativism also promotes kindness and fair treatment. Relativism reminds everyone that they are important no matter their background. This could lead to fairness and kindness. The Prophet said, the most beloved people to Allah are those who benefit others. Justice and compassion are core Islamic values that build trust and harmony in society. Okay, moving on to the weaknesses of relativism. First of all, relativism denies absolute truth. Relativism claims everyone belief can be true, which weakens religion. In Islam, truth does not come from their own feeling, but from Allah. In Quran, Surah Al-Kahfi, ayat 29 shows that real truth is from Allah alone and never changes. Secondly, relativism can cause moral confusion. When people decide the right and wrong based on their desire, they get lost. In the Surah Al-Kahfi ayat 23, warns about taking desire as a god. Without the fixed truth, morals keep changing, leading to confusion and chaos. The third one, relativism weakens one faith. Relativism makes people trust their opinions more than revelation. This leads to ignoring duties, justifying sins. The Prophet said that true belief is when one desire follow what Islam teaches. Last but not least, relativism encouraged following desire or hawa nafsu. Relativism promotes my feeling equal to my truth, making people more impulsive. Islam teach Islam in, Islam teaches people to be more disciplined and self-control. The Prophet ﷺ said, strength is when people can control oneself. Other than that, scholars like Ibn Qayyim explain that following desires corrupts knowledge, worship, and actions. Okay, that's all from me. I will pass the floor to RIDHUAN.
Thank you, AMIR, for the presentation. So now we are moving to the conclusion. From this study, it clearly shows that how relativism is contradict worldview in the society. In Islam, it's clearly stated how morality and ethics are revealed by Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, and thus providing guidance, a clear guideline to the mankind in preserving ethics and morality in their life. The teaching, the revelation help human being to uphold morality and avoid confusion. Therefore, relativism is an ideology that is rejected in Islam. Okay, guys. That's all from us. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. As a part of our assignment, today we are going to have a podcast session where we will talk about relativism and the culture of gift-giving in business. Brother Imran, how relativism explain different view about this culture between a normal one or a considered a bribery?
Thanks for the question, Brother Wan. From my perspective, according to the relativism, in one culture or community, they will say the giving gift in business a sign of respect or the relationship between co-worker. That is acceptable in their culture. However, in other culture, they will view the same action as bravery because this action can lead to the decision unfairly and also gain a personal advantage and contradict with their value, which is the fairness and integrity. So that's all.
That's a good point of view. Then, Brother Hazri, what culture accept it as a normal gift giving in business?
Oh, that's a good question. Alright, to make it even clearer, in East Asian culture like Japan, China, and South Korea, personal relationship really matter in the business world. So when someone give a gift, it's not just about handing over something. It's about symbol relationship, trust, and a long-term partnership. For example, after After business meeting, a Japanese person might give a small souvenir. It seems as a way to show respect and proper etiquette. It's not necessarily to buy someone. That's all.
Alright, so thank you, Brother HAZRIQ. Moving on to the next question to the Brother AMZAR. Why other culture didn't accept it?
So what other culture doesn't accept it? Basically, it comes down to 2 points, which is the first one law and the second one is values. So for the first example, law, like US, UK, and also most of Europe country, they are very strict anti-corruption law. So which means that even if you give a small, it is considered as bribery. So for the second point, which is value, these societies believe that businesses should be fair, professional, and transparent. So they prefer decision to make based on rules, not personal relationship. That's all from me.
Alright, so the last question from me is but to the Brother AMIR. So how does Islam perceive this activity?
Okay, thank you, Brother Wan. So basically, in Islam, gift giving is allowed and even encouraged because it can build love and good relationships. But if the gift is given for the intention for gain advantage or to correct someone's duty or to influence a decision, it becomes rasuah or bribery. And rasuah or bribery is strictly forbidden in Islam. So the difference is intention. So before giving a gift to someone, we need to clarify our intention.
Alright, thank you, Brother AMIR and other brothers. So in conclusion, gift giving is really depends on us actually. Alright,
Our
alright.
intention.
So that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.